have never seen anything like this that I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm still sick, unfortunately, so ignore my kind of nasaliness and my wee bit of phlegm. But this week I actually wasn't planning on doing this video, but I did some research of my own for some fantasy romance books that are coming out this year. And I actually found a lot of books that I haven't seen in other videos, and they sound really cool. Like, I found some Egyptian stuff, I found some necromancer stuff, I found some witch stuff, I found some gods. I'm just very excited. So I figured this could be very useful for you guys, especially since I haven't heard anybody else talking about these. So I wanted to share. Some of these are traditionally published, so you'll have to get them in the bookstore or on Amazon. And then other ones are indie, so they're going to be available on Kindle Unlimited. I'll let you know for each of the books. And I also found a varying amount of spice level. Myself, I like spice. I want it to be well written, but I like spice. But a lot of these books that sounded cool have either no spice or just a dash. So I have quite a range here that falls into our spice level categories, but I figured I should share with you. So here we go. Let's jump into it. I'll leave all the Amazon links down below so you can go add it to your wish list, but let's get into the goods. All right, so this first one, I'm gonna look down at my notes here. It's called Kiss of Death, which is the Tempting the Fates Book 1. I don't know how long the series is. I don't know if it's a duology or a trilogy. I know not everybody likes to start one until the whole series is out. But this is by Alice Wilde. She is an already established author. She's an indie author, but this isn't her first book. And the book actually comes out February 17th, 2023, which should be the day that this video comes up. So you should be able to actually head out and get this book now. But this kind of has, it doesn't sound like it's a Cinderella retelling, but it sounds like there's some Cinderella vibes here. You know, it sounds like in the synopsis that our main heroine, she just lost her mother and her father remarries essentially this evil woman who becomes her stepmom. And her father falls ill, so her stepmom's trying to control her life. And it's very much, she needs to be exactly what a woman is supposed to be stuck in the house, doing chores, so on and so forth. So there's your Cinderella vibes. And then the stepmom is basically setting her up to marry this evil man. It sounds like an evil rich man. And our heroine is just like, no, 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 I'm not gonna do this. I wanna choose my own fate. So she goes to the bargainer, which we don't know what he is. This book does says it have gods and monsters in it, so we don't know what he is yet, but she goes to the bargainer and she wants to make a deal with him so that her father will be better, he won't die, and she doesn't want to have to marry this evil man. So that's kind of where the synopsis ends, but it sounds cool, it sounds good. And then the little kind of like tick marks that the author put on the Amazon page is it's a dark fantasy. It is a slow burn, so I don't know how you feel about that. This does have spice. There is actually a warning on there that there's definitely adult content, both spice-wise and violence-wise. There's multiple love interests. We have shifters. There's forbidden love. And then not all of you are going to like this, but it ends on a cliffhanger. So some of you really may not like that if it ends on a cliffhanger and this is the first book of the series. So yeah, but I think this sounds really cool. I'm really excited about the whole like gods and monsters stuff. I love a good book that actually has a god in it. I hate when they take the idea of a god like Hades and then they say he's human. That's not my thing. I want the real stuff, man. The real gods. But anyways, this is a KU book since she is an indie author. Like I mentioned, it comes out February 17th, so it should actually already be up by the time you're watching this video. So head down to the link below if you're interested in this book. But moving on, okay, our next book I'm incredibly excited for. This is probably one of the ones that I'm most anticipating because this has to do with the necromancer. But this is a traditionally published author. This is one I've actually mentioned before in my previous fantasy romance video books I already have. This is by Hannah Witten, who wrote For the Wolf, and this is called the Foxglove King, which it is another series, and this is book 1, but it sounds really, really cool. So this comes out March 7th, 2023. It sounds like it's going to be in bookstores and on Amazon. So again, the link will be down below if you want to get it off of there. But this it's ticking a bunch of boxes here. It's what I get off of the synopsis alone is that our heroine, she used to be in a cult that she escaped, and she actually has her own magic that's associated with death. So our necromancer is our heroine, and she essentially escapes the cult out of the catacombs, and then she gets captured by these warrior monks who take her to the king because her magic is very, very valuable and it's very, very rare. She thinks, though, that he's going to kill her, and instead he wants to use her. He sounds evil. I don't think he's our love interest. But he's essentially using her to kind of figure out what's been happening, who in his court is essentially betraying him, because death has just been happening around the kingdom. So he needs her to figure out what is going on. And she has this duke turned monk who's taking care of her, which I'm pretty sure is going to be our love interest. And so you can get a little bit of forbidden love there. But she's trying to figure that out while simultaneously the people from the cult are chasing after her. So it sounds really good. I'm pretty excited for it. I believe it's not really going to have any spice, because from what I understand, I haven't read For the Wolf yet, but from what I looked up, For the Wolf, it's a romance, but it more so like cuts to black. So you can tell that they're going to have sex, but you're not actually going to be reading that scene. So this could be safe for younger individuals if you're getting this as a gift for, I don't know, some of your family members. But the thing that's kind of exciting about this is the little tick marks that we have on the Amazon page. It is a romantic epic fantasy. It's new adult. We have a magic system, including our necromancy. So it has to be around death. We're again having gods associated in this story. We have our forbidden romance. We have our political intrigue, because we're going to be thrust into this incredible court. And we have warrior monks, which I know I just mentioned in my brief little synopsis, but that sounds epic. That sounds awesome. I'm very excited to hear about them. And then it also sounds like in this writing, there's a touch of horror, which I'm very excited about. I know I've mentioned this multiple times. I want a romance that has those horror elements. I particularly like gore, but I'm excited to see what other people's interpretations of horror is. So I'm really, really excited about this book. This is probably the book I'm most excited about. But again, this is traditionally published, so you can either get it in stores or get it off of Amazon, and it will come out March 7th, 2023. So not too much longer to wait. So for our third book here, this is called The Coven. Again, another series. This is book 1. It's by Harper L. Woods, which she has other books under her name, so this is also not her first book. And with that being said, I don't have a clear idea if there's going to be spice, but I'm assuming there's going to be a fair amount based off of other books that she has actually written, including What Lies Beyond the Veil, which I haven't read, but from what I can tell from reviews, there is some spice in that book. So I'm expecting that to be the same in this book as well. It comes out March 16th, 2023. It is an indie book, so it will be available on Kindle Unlimited. And this, of course, is about witches. It's called The Coven, so it's about witches. But it sounds like it's more of like a revenge plot. So our heroine, she has been raised as her father's essential like weapon against the Coven, what it sounds like. And she's going to this university, this magical university that I guess is only open to 13 individuals, 13 witches, who are believed to change the world, right? But this apparent university, 10 years back or so, had a super bloody massacre. Hopefully that is described. I will love that. But it had a super bloody massacre, and no one's really talking about it, and it's never really explained. So when she goes into the school, it sounds like there's murders kind of happening. So she needs to protect herself. And then it also sounds like maybe she's going to attack this coven as well. That part I'm not so clear on. But this is intriguing. I'm very, very curious about it. Of course, I want the blood, so I'm hoping that's going to be in there. But again, when we get down to our little tick marks that are on the Amazon page, we know that this is a gothic dark academia romance, which is really cool. I'm into dark gothic romance. I'm kind of assuming it's enemies to lovers, because from what I get in the synopsis, she sounds like she's attracted to, but they kind of bicker a lot with the headmaster. So this could also be a little bit more of some forbidden love as well. And also probably an assumed age gap. Not too sure. And then there's going to be murder in it. And then, like I had already said, this sounds like it's a revenge plot. So a good revenge story is always good. I'm imagining she's not going to be, you know, the sweetest girl. There's going to be some depth to her character. So I'm quite excited about it. Again, it comes out March 16th, 2023. Again, that doesn't mean we have to wait very long. So that's kind of nice. A lot of these books actually come out fairly soon. But yeah, The Coven by Harper L. Woods. Okay, book 4. Book 4, this might be the one I'm most excited about. I don't know. I haven't read book 1 yet, so I'm kind of assuming that I'm really gonna like it, but it's just such an original storyline. I have never seen anything like this that I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for it. But that being said, this is book 2, which is called Ruin. It's a part of the Foolish Kingdoms trilogy. Book 2 comes out March 30th, 2023 on Kindle Unlimited. So you can head over there to get it. And it's by Natalia Jaster. Now, I'm not going to give you the synopsis of book 2 because I didn't read it because I don't want anything to be given away because I still haven't read book 1, like I mentioned. So I'm going to tell you about book 1, which again is already out. You can get it. Okay? Head over to Amazon for that. I'll include that link below as well. So, I'm so excited about this. But Trick, essentially, it sounds like this is a longer book. This is going to be more of an epic fantasy. But we have a court, and the court jester, it sounds like, is our kind of like morally gray, potentially the villain in this book, who is our love interest. And he goes after the princess. He essentially leaves a ribbon like on her pillow, signaling to her that she's his next target. All right? And dealing with the jester or being with the jester is going to cause her ruin, but she's also falling for him. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I don't want to give too much away, but that's kind of the main stuff that I'm getting out of it. I'm getting major Casanova vibes because it sounds like he goes after a lot of women, a lot of ladies, so he knows what he's doing. So I'm getting that Casanova feeling, but it's the court jester. I never would have thought to romanticize the court jester, so I'm excited about this. And then apparently also, I didn't say this, he has some sort of big secret that he's keeping. So something that's really important. I'm getting vibes that he's the villain, which is my thing. I love a good villain. I love to love the villain. I love to love the villain. But anyways, this is definitively a spicy book. It's called out as a spicy book. There's essentially a warning that it's adult content. So if you're into that, which you know I am, I'm hoping it's written really, really well, then this is for you. It also is stated as an enemies to lovers. We all love that. It does have a HEA, happily ever after, and it's the princess and the jester sort of storyline. And yeah, that's I kind of mentioned everything else, so I'll leave it at that. This one is just, I'm so excited. I'm probably gonna get this one for my birthday. If you've seen my reading journal video, you know that I have like a little savings account in my book where I have like a money pocket. I'm totally getting these 2 books. And I'm buying them. I love the covers. The covers look really, really cool. I'm so excited. I really want this to be good. I'm really hoping it's a 5-star, man. I really, 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 really am. If you've read Jester, let me know below. Don't give me any spoilers, but let me know below like what you think the rating is. Is it a good read? Please. Please be a good read, but also like be honest too. Let me know if it's bad, but I hope it's good. Anyways, moving on. So for book 5 here, this is, you might know this author. I haven't read Rhapsodic yet, but she's the one who wrote Rhapsodic, Laura Talisa. Sorry, I don't know if I pronounce it right, but this is another witchy book. This is called Bewitched. It looks like, oh no, it does say it's book 1, so it's a series. This is romantasy though, okay? A lot of them are series, so don't come for me. But this is a new adult book. We have a magic system, of course, because we have our witches. But what it sounds like is our main girl, our heroine here, wants to be accepted into this very specific coven. And it sounds like it's kind of like there's a university to get into this coven. So we got another like magical school here, all right? Called Henbane. And she's trying to get over there, so she has to fly there. So she's in a plane, and it sounds like it might be in South America, or she has to fly over South America. But what ends up happening is her plane comes crashing down. She survives it because of her magic, but her magic, unfortunately, causes memory loss. That's kind of the price of her magic. So in doing so, she doesn't really remember quite what happened, what she did to kind of save herself. But in doing so, she actually relinquishes a god, okay? And this god thinks that she is essentially like a reincarnation version of his long-lost love who completely betrayed him. So he's gonna go after her. She somehow is able to escape that jungle situation, get away from him in South America, and get to the academy eventually. But like we said, her magic causes memory loss. So there's going to be a lot of problems there. There's going to be a lot of gaps. But when she actually gets to the university, it sounds like a bunch of murders start happening. And everyone believes that it's her on account of her memory loss. All of a sudden, she can't put 2 and 2 together of where she was, things like that. And we find out that the god, he's coming after her, baby. He's coming after her. And she's actually going to have to trust him to get herself out of this bad situation with the Coven. So it sounds like we got ourselves some enemies to lovers. We're going to be loving a god. So I'm very excited. Laura Talisa, I'm expecting there to be some spice. Rhapsodic, like I said, I haven't read, but from reviews that I've seen, it sounds like there is a dash of spice in there. It's not smutty, it's not overly spicy, but there's gonna be a touch. So hopefully this is good. This is a longer book. It's over 400 pages, so it's definitely gonna be a good time to be able to sit down and read, maybe over a couple days. So yeah, this one comes out April 18th, 2023. I didn't mention that. It will be on Kindle Unlimited. And I believe actually Laura Talisa is an indie author. I bought Rhapsodic at Barnes & Noble, but it looks like she's an indie author. So correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, that is Bewitched. April 18th, 2023. Moving on. Number 6. This is one I'm very excited about. I'm sure you guys are excited about too after what I said in the intro. This is our Egyptian book. Very, very excited about this. This is like an Egyptian sorcery book. I don't know if that is the right word. I don't know if there's a different word that Egyptians would use for essentially like a witch or a sorcerer, but that's this book. So I'm very excited about it. It's called the Jasad Heir. It's the Scorched Throne series, book 1 by Sarah Hashem, which I just want to give a huge shout out to this because this is her first novel ever and it's traditionally published. So good on you. That is epic. I'm very excited about this because I'm sure it's going to be very good. And before I actually get into the synopsis, because I'm sure a lot of you are curious, this doesn't have spice from what I can tell. Take that with a grain of salt, but I didn't see any sort of like warnings or any mentionings that it's more adult. It sounds like it's in a new adult storyline, but it doesn't sound like there's spice. Definitely romance. I'm imagining a lot of angst, but it doesn't look like there's any spice, okay? So, as far as the synopsis goes, what it sounds like, the thing I can kind of relate it to from what I know is it almost kind of has like beginnings, like our heroine's beginnings feels very much similar to the Anastasia storyline. She was her family was the ruler of this, I'm assuming it's the Jasad kingdom. I'm not sure, the Jasad might be the people, but the Jasad kingdom is what I'm going to say. They were ruling, they have magic, and I think it's pronounced Nizal or Nizale. I'm not too sure, but another guy comes in, I think it's another ruling kingdom, comes in and basically burns her kingdom to the ground and is essentially trying to kill all of the Jasadi people. That's my understanding from what I'm getting of the synopsis. But he's essentially still going after all of these, essentially, I'm gonna say probably Jasadi refugees who were able to get away. So he's still hunting them years later. And she was able to actually get out of that. She wasn't murdered. The rest of her family was, but she lets people believe that she was murdered. She's never thinking about coming back and being queen or anything like that. She likes her life of anonymity. Excuse my Finding Nemo moment. Anonymity. You know what I'm trying to say. But she likes her life being just normal, okay? But the problem is, as the Nizal, I'll say the Nizal, these are the bad guys, the heir to the Nizali people, or Nizali kingdom, he's the one going through and he's hunting people, and he gets to her village and her magic kind of exposes her, and he doesn't know who she is yet, and she's keeping that from him, but he captures her and brings her back to his father. And his father, it sounds like, kind of puts her into this like tournament in order for her to stay alive, you know, because he's killing all of the Jasadi people. So he puts her into this tournament, which I'm sure is some sadistic thing that he likes to watch so people can die. I'm imagining it's probably going to be like some Colosseum stuff, like you have to kill each other. Not entirely sure. Take that with a grain of salt. That's my assumption. But yeah, it sounds really good. It sounds like it's an enemies to lovers because she's kind of ending up trusting the Nizali heir, who, even though he took her back to her father, it sounds like she's gonna kind of fall in love with him. So it does look like it's gonna be a slow burn. It's around 400 pages. It's new adult, and it has a magic system. I don't know exactly how the magic system works. That wasn't really quite given away, but this looks good. This looks really good. So again, this is called the Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashem, and it comes out July 18th, 2023. I really want to I'm hoping they'll have it in my Barnes & Noble. I would love to go check it out. I hope there's a hardback. Oh, I hope there's a hardback. Anyways, last book. Number 7. All right, number 7 is actually book 2. So if you haven't read book 1, that's going to be a problem, which I haven't read book 1 yet, but I have it. And you've actually heard me mention it because it was in my last fantasy romance book haul that I essentially got. But this is called Chasm. It's book 2 of the Glacian trilogy. It's by Stacey McEwen. And if that sounds familiar, it's because her first book was Ledge, which is literally the first book I talk about in that other video. And so I'll give you the synopsis of that one because I don't want to read the other synopsis yet. I need to read Ledge first, okay? But Chasm book 2 comes out September 12th, 2023, so I have plenty of time to read Ledge, and so do you guys. But Ledge is essentially, it sounds really cool. This is the one that had the Publisher's Weekly quote that said it's essentially like a bloody Kill Bill fairy tale. Oh my God. I'm literally going to start this book soon. I'm so excited. Just that one freaking quote. And I'm done. I'm so excited. But Ledge is, there's essentially these people who live on the ledge where there's this deep chasm to the right and this huge mountain face to the other side. So they're really stuck between a rock and a hard place here. And their life is very hard. It sounds like it's very cold. So it's not easy really to survive just normally, but then every single season they actually have to essentially make up an offer or sacrifice one of their humans. And we follow the girl who ends up getting sacrificed in Ledge, and she is taken away by one of these Glacian creatures. I think they're fae, but I'm not entirely sure. So she's going to try to escape that. She falls in love, and that's your story of Ledge. I think she's trying to help her people. I think she's trying to make it a safer place. But yeah, it's supposed to be bloody. It's supposed to have a dash of spice from what I understand. I originally thought that it had more spice just based off of Stacey McEwen. I follow her on Instagram, and she's hilarious. So it kind of seemed from some of her reels like there was more spice than what I'm getting off of people's reviews. But it sounds like there's a dash of spice, but not a ton, okay? It's not smutty, it's not overt, it's not tons of sex scenes, all right? But yeah, book 2, Chasm by Stacey McEwen, September 12th, 2023. Again, it looks like it's supposed to be bloody and brutal, so A. And then one thing I do want to note that I did see about Ledge is it's supposed to end on a cliffhanger. So if you're one of those people where like you hate that, maybe you wait to read Ledge until right before Chasm comes out. Okay? Cool. All right, that's it. That's all I got. These are the 7 books that I'm most excited about. Obviously, there's other books that I really, really want, but they kind of fall into other categories like fairy tale retellings. I have quite a list for that. If you saw my reading journal video, you know that I have a goal to read some fairy tale retellings, and I found some really cool books. So I think I might actually do another video of these. Let me know if you guys liked this, because I haven't read these, so I can't necessarily say like what my rating would be or if I'd actually recommend them. These are just books that I'm excited for based off the synopsis. So if you guys want to see like a fairy tale retellings list of the ones that I found that I'm super jonesing for, let me know. But otherwise, this is it. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. Maybe think about subscribing. I don't know. But I will see you guys next week, and you guys have a good one. Bye.